This is a short video on how to pick up dropped stitches in Knit 2 Purl 2 ribbing. Sometimes our needle will accidentally come out of our work. And then we've got all these stitches and it's like we panic. How are we going to put these stitches back on our needle? Well, the first thing to do is just to capture them. And when you have Knit 2 Purl 2 ribbing, the stitches often flay like this. And it's hard to see which stitch goes where. You can pull it a little bit apart to kind of get the order so you can see that this is the first stitch, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, so on. But don't pull too far because you'll actually pull the yarn out of the stitches and you'll lose them. So the first thing is to just quickly pick up these stitches in any way that you can to get them back on your needle. It doesn't matter whether the stitches are oriented properly, or even if you catch all the yarn, you can split the yarn, that's okay. Just get them on your needle in any way that you can to keep them from running down the fabric. They don't run down easily. You have to pull on it to make them run. But that is a knitter's worst fear, is just pulling the stitches all the way down their work. So we've got the stitches back on here, and they're not necessarily in the right orientation. So the easiest way to fix that is to tink back a row. Tinking is T-I-N-K, is knit spelled backwards, and yes, it's a knitting term. So the first stitch, you can see we've got it split on here. So what we're going to do is go into the, this is a knit stitch for Knit 2 Purl 2 ribbon. We're going to go into the front of the stitch below and then let the working yarn out of that stitch. Same thing on this stitch, going into the stitch below. Let the yarn, here comes a purl. Again, we're going to go into the knit stitch below. And just like that, we're pulling up with the right needle and holding the work down with the fingers of both hands. See, I'm pulling the work down from the needle so it opens that stitch below the one on the needle so I can insert the left needle into it. And you do this all across the row. So that's a purl, knit, knit. I also have a video on doing this in stockinette, and I will have videos showing how to do unknit or tink decreases like SSK, knit two together. This is the second video in this series of picking up drop stitches and tinking. So this one we're going to go through this way, but then we'll remount it this way. And there you go. So then you would just start back up and knit across that row in the stitch pattern that you're working, which is Knit 2 Purl 2 ribbing. If you like my videos, there's a little icon down in the bottom right corner. You can click on that. It will take you to my main channel page where you can subscribe. Feel free to leave comments. I love to hear from people, and I'll answer any questions that you have. Happy knitting!